In this video, we're going to take a look at the LH Agenda Planner. So if you've been following me for a while, you might remember I previously did a review of this planner, but my main con with that one was that the page size was just way too small. So when the creator of LH Agenda, Kaiser, I hope I pronounced that right, reached out to me, letting me know they had some updated versions. I did say yes, so this is a free planner, just have to put that disclaimer in there. But I do really like the planner anyway, and I probably would have brought it to do a review of it anyway. So the page size of this one is quite large, especially because it is a sewn bound planner. So you usually can only get around about A5 page size if it has sewn binding. This one, the cover you'll see is a little bit wider than the pages. So the pages are about 7.5 inches wide by about 8.5 inches high. So that's a pretty decent page size and has a 2-page weekly spread. So if you need some more room to write, but you still want the sewn bound planner, you're not into disc binding or coil binding, then this one could be a good option. It is an Australian planner company, but they do ship worldwide. So notice that the cover is monogrammed. It has my initials on there, so you can choose to pay a little extra to get it monogrammed. Otherwise, you can just order it without. So I opted for the black because I really like how the black and the gold pair together, but there is also a brownie, I think they call it mocha color, and there are some different versions of the planner as well. So the weekly layout I'm going to show you is just one of the options. You can also get daily as well. So let's take a closer look. So this one is undated, and I much prefer undated planners because I do switch between planners a lot. I don't just use one planner for the entire year. I get a bit bored, and I like to use different layouts depending on what I'm planning that week and how busy it is. So you can stop and start using this one at any time that you like. So at the front we start with, there's actually a lot of goal setting, so I won't say we start with a few. There is plenty of goal planning pages, and you can pause the video at any point in time if you want to read any of this. It's a little guide to getting started and some more tips, but I really want to start showing you the actual layout pages. So let's jump ahead a little bit. Again, you can zoom in on that and pause the video. Okay, so you can see that this planner is broken down into 3 sections. So there's dream, define, and do. So this initial pages is all your goal setting, and then the do section is where you'll find your weekly spreads and your monthly and all the other things that you would typically find in a planner. So you can see that this one is kind of like a planner and a goal planner combined into one, so there is quite a lot of pages to show you. So because it is sewn bound, it doesn't have any tabs that stick out, but it does have these ones that are printed and built into the pages. And in their shop you can also buy sticker tabs if you want to. Because it's undated, you might want to add them, or you could always just write it on yourself or use like a little color dot or something. There are also 3 ribbon bookmarks to mark your place, and you'll notice that the divider sections for each category have that bold black, so you can find them a bit easier throughout the planner. So this front section has this self-discovery page with some questions. I have taken photos of all of these, and they'll be in the blog post, which will be linked down below, including, you know, listing out the questions if you wanted to take a closer look at them. So it really gets very specific. It's not just what goal do you want, it's more, okay, what do I want, how do my goals fit into that. One con that I am noticing is that the paper looks much the same as the previous version in that it is quite thin. So you can see there's a lot of show through of what's on the back side of the pages. So from that we already know that the pens are going to show through. I will be doing a pen test, but to be honest, you probably don't even really need it for this one because it's going to show through. You can already see the ghosting there, which is quite unfortunate because, I mean, the page size is perfect in my opinion. It's really hard to find sewn bound planners that come in this larger page size. So I think if the paper was thicker and if it was white, because it's actually ivory, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, it's ivory paper. So for me, that's a bit of a turn off. I don't know, some people actually comment whenever I say I like bright white, and they go, no, I want the contrast of the ivory paper. So anyway, just keep that in mind. So we have this life review here, and you can see there are tons and tons of categories. So it's not just a work planner, even though I will say the later pages are more tiered towards like business career. So if you want a planner that's like an all-in-one for absolutely everything, work-life balance with, I'd say, a little bit more steered towards career, then this one would probably be a good fit. I don't think it would really be useful for someone that doesn't want to keep their work stuff in their planner if they're just using it like a family planner. I'm not really I don't think it would be really tailored to that, and you'll see as we continue going on with the other page layouts. So you can see there's a lot of stuff before you even start writing down your goals. Like, look how many pages, we're up to 30 pages already before we even start to define the goals. The dot grid spacing on this is 5 mil, and as you can see, it's a rather dark grid in the background there. And there's lots of different like quotes and motivational things at the bottom of the pages, which are different throughout the planner. It's not the same one the whole time. So now you can see we're already this far into the planner and we've only just gotten to the goals section. So if you have no clue what you're doing or what you want to do, then this planner will really help you map that out. Some more tips on how to use the pages. And at least the font size is small and they've managed to condense that onto one page rather than cluttering up the planner with a bunch of instruction pages. So it is quite compact, which is good with their instructions. Then we have the goals. And then I really like these goal pages. You get 2 pages for each goal. So you don't have to really bunch your writing really up small. It actually gives you a decent amount of space to plan each of them. So you've got the first goal, you have the start date and a due date, which is always good. Gives you those SMART goals reminder, why it's important to you, what's your roadblocks. And then you can start to map out, okay, this is what I'm going to actually do and when, because I find that most goal planners will just launch right into this section rather than thinking about like the pre-planning. You get 3 of these. Some more dot grid pages. You can see the bookmark, one of them. Quite a lot of dot grid, and there's more dot grid at the back of the planner as well. Then we have the yearly overview. So it does have its own tab, but I do think it is a little bit buried. So I guess I'm just used to having planners that will have the yearly overview at the start of the planner for quick reference. So you might want to use your ribbon bookmark for that, or you'll have to look for the little tab for it. So undated, start using it whenever you want. You can stop and start. So if you don't want to use this while you're, I don't know, if you go on an overseas holiday for a month, you don't feel like you've wasted part of the planner, because you can just come back straight where you left off and pick it up. And then we have self-care plan, signs of burnout, which doesn't normally get acknowledged, and then some success routines, so mapping out an ideal week, and it also actually goes into month, quarterly, half year and yearly. You can pause the video if you want to read the little instructions and quote. Some more dot grid, and then we go into the do section. So we are this far into the planner already before we even look at the actual like day-to-day planning pages. So you'll notice that we've jumped from the cover straight into the monthly planner, and then it goes straight into the weeks. So what's missing? A traditional boxes calendar format where you get 1 box per day, which I actually think is a pro. So I cannot stand those boxes. I tried using them for years. They're just too small. I don't like it. I can't fit enough in there. By the time I write like 3 words, it requires multiple lines. And then if you have like a birthday or other event and you want to put that on the calendar as well, there's just no room to write, and I just hate it. So I actually use a list format for my monthly spread. So you could turn this page here into a list format with, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I just think that gives more room to write because you can go the whole width of the page. So if you are not convinced about ditching the boxes calendar format for a monthly spread, you could give it a go in this one. And you do also get the monthly planning page as well with your goals, some to-dos, and then all this other stuff which makes you think about it a bit more than most planners do, where it's just do this, do this, do this. So that's a nice little extra. I do wonder why this is a dotted line instead of just a solid line. It makes the page a little bit busy, the fact that it's all dashes. So maybe something for them to consider for the next edition. And then we have the all-important weekly spread. So this weekly spread is what really sold me on this layout. I really like a horizontal days of the week and then lots of to-do list space on the other side. So it's a Monday start, but it's undated. So if you really want to, you can just use some stickers or whiteout and change it to a Sunday start. And you'll notice that it has these little lines here. So if you wanted to, you can divide that up and create extra sections. So while I did say earlier, I don't think it's really a family planner, you could turn it into one if you wanted to and have your different columns for each family member, or you could do like work, blog, school, or whatever other categories you want, or just leave it as one nice big open-ended box. We've got our top 3 priorities, And then we have our other side, which is our weekly overview. So I would use this for a big to-do list. You can use it for whatever you want. And then we have a little week in review section. So I like this accountability. It's all continued throughout. And you can see these just continue. We have 5 weekly spreads before the end of the month, and it doesn't just launch straight into the next one. It does of course have a month in review, so there will be a lot of reviewing your goals, a lot of reminders to keep you motivated. You can see some prompter questions here. There's no lined writing space, so you can write as much as or as little as you want. So maybe you want to put a lot for this item here and maybe not a lot for this one, so you've got, you know, plenty of flexible space. It's not like boxes that are assigned to each question, so I do like that flexible layout. And then we launch into the next month. So at the end of each month is a quarterly check-in. So you can pause the video if you want to read the little reminder questions, but similar theme. It's like, what's not working? What's the cause of why it's not working? What are you going to do to change that? You know, how are you going to reassess your goals? And it also ties back with those categories we had at the start of the planner with giving it a rating out of 10. You can see there is a lot of categories. It's probably the most categories I've ever seen put in a goal planner. Even includes like home and surroundings, self-care, confidence. And we have some more goal pages with a growth plan. And these are the ones that make me feel like it's more steered towards like a career planner. So you can see. And then we go into the next month. So in addition to all of that, we still have more pages to look at. So at the back, oops, just want to get to the start. So at the back here, we have some additional pages. So we have a next year section. Now this one confused me a little bit because it brought back the boxes layout that I don't really like. And it has 6 rows, which is kind of irritating because you can just restart the numbering on the top row, especially because it's undated. So I wasn't really sure what the point of that was by only having 1 box for the next year section, but then they have this next 6-month overview. So I don't really know what I would do with that page. I probably wouldn't even use it. And then we have our year-end review. So you have your highlights, goals I achieved, other wins and achievements, challenges, how can I grow, and then goals I didn't achieve and reasons why. And you'll notice that all these pages are numbered, which ties back to that contents page at the start of the planner, so you can find things easier if they don't have the little tab on the side like this one doesn't. And there's those same categories again with the rating out of 10, and also some little prompter questions to consider when you're writing your responses. I'm not sure about this dotted background on the page. I kind of think it's a bit unnecessary and adds a bit of clutter. It just makes it a bit busy. And because we have so many categories, it's a 4-page spread to get your year-end review done. Sorry, 5-page spread. And then we have the do section. So this is all of your lists and projects. So this is, of course, another favorite section of mine because I pretty much just do everything via lists. So you have project pages. So if you wanted to have a goal that includes multiple steps, then you can use the project pages to expand on that. There's quite a few of them. I've counted how many there are of each page, and that's in the blog post, which will be linked down below if you really want to know. I can't remember how many project pages off the top of my head, sorry, but I do remember that there are 20 dot grid, which I'll show you in a sec. We have this massive master to-do list, which is so much space. The line spacing of this is about 7 mil, I think, from memory, 6 or 7 mil. That's in the blog post as well if you're particular about your line spacing. Lots of those pages, which is good. You should not run out. Should be plenty to last your whole year. Birthdays, special days, and gifts page, which again's kind of a bit buried in the back of the planner rather than at the front like most planners are include. Then we have achievements and wins, lessons I've learned, gratitude list, ideas, some empty list pages that you can use for whatever you want. Quite a few of them. There's those dot grid pages I was talking about earlier with the same 5 mil grid, and none of the grid is too close to the edge of the page, so that's good. I don't really like though how the number is inset into the grid. It kind of irritates me. because then if you want to actually use that space, it's a bit redundant. And same with the tab here. There's a bit more space up the top, so maybe it would be better if they put the tab up there instead, because that is again taking up space on the dot grid. And they have all the different quotes down the bottom and at the very back. I know this was a long review, sorry, but I tried not to go too quick but also not drag it out too long. We have a pocket folder, which is quite roomy, but because this is a sewn bound planner, you probably won't be able to put much in there because it'll just make the planner way too fat. So you can see there is a lot of pages in there. There's a lot of well thought out pages. I do think this planner is more geared towards a career work-life balance planner. You could use it though if you're a student, if you have a side hustle, if you own your own business. So various ways that you could use it. Undated, so you can stop and start using it whenever you like. Absolutely love this weekly spread. Main cons, I think the paper quality is just way too thin for the price point. I will include all of that pricing information as well with shipping in the blog post, which will be linked down below. They do ship worldwide, even though it is an Australian planner brand. And the other con, I would say, I do prefer bright white paper, but I think that's more personal preference. So anyway, I hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to like it if you did. And if you want to check out the other review that I did for their previous version, I'll have the link to that review down below as well.